Hey, y'all got any thoughts
Yeah.
on anything?
Okay, so we are rolling again. We can go ahead.
Okay. Just tell me a little bit about your coaching prior to getting back to UT.
Well, I, every time you ask me something, I have to go back a little further.
That's fine.
I'm in the Army, and it's 53, and I've had 16 weeks of training, got all my shots, got all the paperwork. I'm heading to Korea, and because we still got a war going over there, and we're fixing to ship out. All of a sudden, the armistice is signed, so we don't have to go to Korea. And so from that point on, they got a whole lot of people that they don't really need because we don't have a war going on. And so that was kind of the beginning. I was coaching a little bit earlier, but I went full time coaching little boys baseball. I played on the post basketball team at Fort Bliss. I coached a team at Fort Bliss, and so I began to coach at Fort Bliss. Well, I had started my master's in Texas, and I was finishing in North Texas. So when I got out of school, not out of school, when I got out of the Army, which I got out a little early because they let me. I got out. I went back to North Texas to finish my master's degree. And a friend of mine that I knew from previous high school playing days, he was on the board of a oil field town over in East Texas called Van, V-A-N, and he talked to the board there, and they sent me a note, and invited me to come down and interview for the job. I did, and I got the job, and that's kind of where I started in high school, right there.
And did you coach all sports or just basketball?
Just basketball. Volunteered to help some with other sports, taping and anything I could do, because they always helped me. I tried to help them, and I was at Van 2 years, and I'm the second year I'm there. Phone rings, and I pick up the phone, and it's Lon Morris College in Jacksonville, Texas, calling. And I get a call. They want to know I want to come down and interview for that Lon Morris College job, and I don't know that I even knew a thing about Lon Morris. Never had been on the campus, so I told them I would. And so I drove from Van to Jacksonville, Texas, to interview for the job. Interviewed for about 2, maybe a little longer hours, and I walked out, and as I walked out, the dean of students walked with me, and he walked out and he closed the door. We're sitting there, kind of talking, and he pulled out $10 and offered me $10 to buy my gas from Van to Jacksonville, and I didn't take it. I wouldn't take his money. I told him it's not far from Jacksonville to Van, and Van to Jacksonville. I said I won't take your money, and I'll tell you, to this day I believe that got me the job, because I didn't realize they didn't have any money. Lon Morris College was a wonderful little school, but they didn't have any money. We later that summer, after getting the job, we moved to Jacksonville, and I went down to the old gym. That's the worst old gym in the world. And to the old gym, I walk in there, and I walk in the dressing room, and I look around, and there's not a good pair of shoes in the whole place. There's not a good basketball. I couldn't find the uniform. I finally found them in a barrel, and I said, good gracious alive, what have I got myself into? I just left a Van who had a lot of oil money to Jacksonville. Lon Morris College didn't have anything. So I looked at that, and I said, I got to get on with it. I got to do something about it. I called the president's secretary, talked to her, and asked her if I could just get a meeting with Dr. Peoples and visit for a minute. She said, let me talk to him. And she did. And he said, come on up, and he could see me in an hour or so. I went up, and he had this is the third floor old main building at Lombard's, and he was big office building, big office in the building, and he was sitting in his chair over there, and there was a lot of space. And as I walked in, he looked up in his horn rimmed glasses. He always either called me Black or Coach, and this time he was Black. And he said, "Black, how can I help you?" I got a little closer to him. He wore those horn rimmed glasses, and he looked over those glasses, and he said, I explained what I saw. I explained that there was nothing down there. There was no equipment. There was nothing that resembled a basketball game or people that were going to play basketball. There was just nothing there. And after I got through pleading my heart out, and it didn't take long, he looked up over those horn-rimmed glasses. He said, "Black, I hired you to run that basketball program. Now you get down there and run it." That was the only meeting that I had with him in 5. That's the president. That's the only meeting I had with him in 5 years. In 5 years, I never had another. I did almost have one with him down at the faculty, the student center. There was a faculty boxes area, and I had a little mailbox there. All the faculty, I suppose, did, but I never looked at mine because I never had anything in it. So, but one day I'm walking through there. I see there's something in it. I reach in there and pull the letter out, and it's a letter from Dr. Peoples. That's my president. I said, "What in the world?" I opened the letter, and it said, "Black, if you'll just be patient, we're going to build that basketball arena for you, and we're going to name it after you." I wish I'd have kept that letter. Oh, I wish I did. We had just finished second in the national tournament, and went back to next year to finish it. We just had some good runs, and he was feeling the pressure from the townspeople want to get behind the new gym. Well, we did, and we got a new gym, but he wasn't very happy with me. He thought I was stirring up the Indians out there getting after him because he wasn't building the gym. So it was kind of funny how that all fell out.
Did they in fact name it after you?
Oh Lord, no. Scurlock out of Houston, who had lots of money.
Oh well.
It wasn't me.
It's always the guys with a lot of money,
But
isn't
I
it?
wish I'd kept the letter anyway.
Talk